very good evening to all you guys. And I'm just Saral Saxena this side. Today I will be welcoming you with one of the great projects that is called Lombok. And it's I can say it's basically a sort of a dependency you can say whenever you design a Pojo. So you have a limitations with you. You have to design corresponding its setters and corresponding its getters equals and hash code and two strings method. At least this is the basically. I'm not going about on the builder patterns where you have to create an object depending upon what parameters you may be passing it while initializing your constructor, and they may vary. So you design a builder pattern for that from the perspective in the mind ki they may be the parameters change while initializing it or creating it object. So I'm not going into the builder pattern, although in the later in this tutorial I will be going into it. But right now what I'm suggesting you okay, that while you are designing your basic pojos like employee, student, any pojos that you design, so apart from specifying the member variables, you have the responsibility to specify its setters, getters, its equal hash code methods, and its two strings. These are the basics ones. Okay, but what about if a framework gives you a liberty? It asks you, okay, okay, don't go and design the setters, getters, the equals hash codes, the two strings. We will take care of that thing. You just design your class, you just mention your variables, being as a private or public, depending upon you, mostly on private as an OOPS principle. And about all these things, we are going to take care of this responsibility. So, which is the framework which is going to provide you that much liberty? And boss, that's the framework is the project Lombok. So today we will be revisiting it. I will be checking you in both the way in Eclipse and in IntelliJ IDEA. Although I prefer guys you to be now switch over to IntelliJ IDEA being an ultimate version. Although community version is available free of cost, but I won't go and suggest you to go for this because this is missing a lot of features. So if you are being on IntelliJ IDEA community version, not on ultimate version, so that is really fantastic. Otherwise, I will also be revisiting you the same on Eclipse, so don't worry about that thing. So let's go and let me tell you that for a project Lombok, we have to get in one jar with us. Okay, so I will be explaining you the complete life cycle, how you install your project Lombok, and all the remaining things with you. Just as usual, before starting today's session, let me introduce you that I am Saral Saxena this side and I will be available on LinkedIn. So if you have any queries on your videos and all the things, yeah, you can go and ask me. I am already posting and updating my videos on LinkedIn, so you can find a link from there for the YouTube channel. I have been there on GitHub, so I will continuously be uploading whatever code that you are requesting me on GitHub also. Okay, so this is just on my GitHub account. So if you have any queries, you can send me request in as a messages, and I will be answering to your queries probably. So as I told you that before beginning for a Lombok framework, okay, so you have to download it dependency. Here what I am being showing you that I have already downloaded it dependency in my M2 repository. So you have to get a tag for a Lombok so that you can easily get it out. Maven tag. You just have to Google it out. Maven dependency Lombok. The version is 1.618, and you'll get a tag. And that is just simply you have to embed in your pom.xml. I will be showing you right now that how we have embedded in your pom.xml, and this is the jar that is the finally that we are going to get in, and we have to play with this jar although in our entire life cycle of the project. So this is going to help us a lot. So once we have this jar with us, what we have to do is that we have to go for a basic installations of a Lombok, either editor we are using. Let's suppose we are being using Eclipse these days mostly because being an open source, mostly the organization prefers an Eclipse. So we have to go here, we have to install certain Lombok dependencies upon editor also, so that at runtime and intelligence will be there with an editor that will be helping us while we are doing our things at a compile time. So let's go and check that how to proceed for that. So what I have done here is that I have this path with me of Lombok. So what I have done is that I have opened my command window just to show you, and I have this the same path which is being mentioned there in the command window, and I have executed a command called, I have to basically execute this jar. So the normal Java jar command is that Java minus space jar. I am already at this path and I have given the name of this jar file, and once you execute the same, okay, sorry, this is the same another window. Let me open the same window which I have opened in front of you so that you guys be able to replicate the same. So this is something command I have typed here, okay, and this is at 1.6118. So the normal command I used to write is about java minus jar, and the normal I have is that Lombok. So just press tab and it enters. I have just pressed the tab command here, entering this path. Okay, just look at this path I have entered, and this is the same. So this present me with one of the one of the windows or one of the dialog boxes that it opened me, and it automatically takes, you see, that is my G drive and where my Eclipse is being there. So it is automatically taking my eclipse.exe. So it's about installing, you can say, a Lombok framework with customization to the Eclipse editor so that you get an intelligence on an Eclipse itself. Okay, so I am saying that, yeah, install the update. So now it is saying that it is adding lombok.jar to your projects existing your ID and then rebuilding the project. So if you start Eclipse with custom VM parameter, you need to add this. Okay, if you are starting it with a custom virtual parameter. Okay, so it is showing me that it is already installed the lombok.jar. Okay, and when I see and click on the project lombok change log uh, project lombok dot change log, so it tells me which versions have been included and what are the features that it is saying that it is done some modifications at the red equal hash code, field constants, field name, delegate, not null. So these are basically setter getter, and these are the basic annotations that project Lombok had already been coming in. So we say okay, and we say okay, yeah, quit installer. So we are done. So please take, if your Eclipse has been already been started after being successful installation, you have to restart the same. So here I'm restarting it. Let's see. So guys, I have opened my Eclipse and this is my basic project basically. Okay, so let's focus on this. So I have created one package and I have created one class. As you can see, this is a simple Lombok model class. I have kept name, age, address. What I am saying that it should not be null. Okay, so what I have to do is that I have to remove certain dependencies which are not being used. So I have used Control Shift O because I want, earlier I was using them, but I want to show you in depth one by one. So guys, let's see what has happened is that I've created one class. I say name, age, and all this, and I haven't mentioned. You can see I haven't mentioned any setters in this, any getters in this. I haven't mentioned any constructor in this, whether it's no arg or it's parameterized constructor. I haven't mentioned any toString method in it. So is it the magic is going to happen? Is it automatically going to take these methods? So that's what we are exploring in Project Lombok. So but before starting it, let me revisit you on this pom.xml. It's showing some error in pom.xml, but don't worry, that is something mismatch that is being happening in when I was being including a d Lombok dependency. So that is I'm going to test it on later, but it won't stop you in exploring this thing. So what I have done is that as I used to say, I have added the dependency tag. That is, you can see initially which dependency tag that I was showing you right now, that how this jar has been got added in Maven. Okay, so that was the dependency tag that I have added it here, and that's how you get it, that dependency tag, and then later on you can add it or customizations. Okay, apart from this, I have added I try to add one plugin also that is called Lombok Maven plugin, and the goal was de-lombok of it just to show you the classes that will be generated corresponding to it when we will be applying the Lombok feature. So you will understanding it slowly by slowly. So what I have done is that I have started out by this Lombok model class. I have added this. Now what I have done is that I haven't added the setters getters. I have say I have embedded some annotations over this class, and I'm expecting this Lombok getter setters to work for me. Okay, although this is the class that I have shown you in the decompiler, that is the jar, and this is the getter class. So there is in within Lombok framework there must be some custom annotation that is being defined, so we can see that. And as I always say that Lombok defines a lot of features. It doesn't generate your getter setup, but it generates them at a lazily. Okay, so this is just the annotation that is being designed at a backend that is working as a magic. So I have done this. I have done this changes. Now what I'm going to do is that in front of you, I'm going to build this project so that Lombok dependency should be applied there. So I will be doing a very shortcut to achieve the same. I will be skipping the test section right now, and I will be applying this session and I will be executing this. Okay, so let's see how this magic works. Okay, sorry, just a minute. I may be taking a minute. So here I am building this Maven project right now in front of you, and we see the build is success. Okay, So now we can see ki, okay, let's see the what's the magic that is being happening. Okay, so this is my basic class, and you can see it here. Let's explore the outline section, and Ray, we see the magic. We are getting these setters and getters right now for these variables which we have never defined. How this magic has been happening. So let's go into the one of the Maven target, that is the project D Lombok target that I have defined, and we'll go and study it out. Let's go, and this is under target sources has been generated. This is being generated by one of the Maven plugin that I've showed you. This is just for your exploration, and it is nothing to do anything with you right now. Okay, and see here the generated sources target are coming, and this is the Lombok model. So see, this is something that is happening at a backend. You are never required to see this, but just for your knowledge, I'm letting you to explore and see this section, ki what is happening. So just see, getters has been generated at a backend. You haven't mentioned, but they are all generated through an annotation called Lombok. That is the magic that I wanted to let you know, to see that this is your model. You haven't defined your setters getters. In the outline sections, you can see setters getters generated, but at a backend, while we are delomboking, matlab we are checking out the internals thing, we can see through the annotations these setters and getters are being generated. So hooray! So this is something, the magic has been happening for you. The framework is being doing, it's being generated for you. Whatever the setters are there, it is being generated by the frameworks. Okay, you don't need to take care of all those things. So hooray! So it has lessened the work pressure for you being as a developer. What about if we need to generate constructors for this? We are not generating, there are no constructors in this section right now, you can see, but we can make this magic happens. I also wanted to generate some constructors into this. Okay, obviously it is going to ask me import these Lombok dependencies, so I'm going to import these Lombok dependencies. Okay, great. Now let me run this build to see that. I think is it taking at a compile time? Let's see. Hooray. So yeah, another feature of Lombok is that it is adding all your things at a compile time. See, there were no constructors were there, but I have just mentioned them, and it is creating them and automatically. So this is something really great. I think I have to refresh this my D Lombok, or whether it is, no, this get executed at when you run this Maven target. So let me see. That's why I've added the Lombok dependency, just for your knowledge, guys. It's nothing to do. You can see in outline section that is already being added for you. So let me run this once again. Okay, and let's go and see this. Okay, this is something Maven task may be executing. It's maybe coming up to success, so we have to wait it out here. And yeah, so build is success. Okay, so let's refresh this class, and let's see if it is being added that thing for us or not for the constructor part. Yeah, see, now the constructors have been added through the Lombok. It is taking these properties, name, age, address, whatever our parameters were there, name, age, address, and it is initializing them. Okay, and it is already taking care of throwing null pointer smartly, because what we have added here key, we won't expecting any null value. So this is already taking care of this. Otherwise, it is initializing the same. If it is coming as an age, they are throwing the custom exception. So this is something happening, and see that this is all generated by Lombok. Okay, so this is also generated by Lombok. Wow, so this is the framework is already taking for us. We have seen it here. Just if you wanted to go more in depth, we can add that plugin and we can see how the things have been happening. Great. So guys, what about if I even don't want to write my two strings and equal hash code method, because mostly I being get stressed and tired of if I have to design 10 pojos, I have to take care of all these 10 things additionally. So now right now you can see two string and all those methods are not there. Okay, so let me add those dependencies and let me revisit that same how things can happen. It asking me that import the dependency. See that whenever I added toString method is already implemented. Same goes check for equal hash code. If I add these things, equal hash code dependencies are already being added. So great. So now again run this target to see how that being generated at a backend, because I know you guys are very curious to see that thing. So if I just type it out like let me run this target for you, D Lombok, just so that you can be very clear about it. Okay, and I think let's wait for this target to get completed out, and then we will be refreshing our classes. Okay, so this is executing for a success, and let's refresh this class to see. So here you can see hash code method. Wow, great. It's being generated by Lombok and it is being implemented some or other algorithm, maybe taking an odd number while calculating. So maybe a bit of primer. I'm not sure about it, but it is doing. That's the thing. It is already implementing two strings. So great. I have to also not take care of writing the two string annotation. It is already being generated by Lombok. So this is something really great that is Lombok is taking. It is generating constructors for me. It is generating two strings methods for me. It's generating equals. It is generating getters methods. It is generating setters. So what I need, this saves my times. Correct. I haven't to do anything. I have left it on over the Lombok framework. It is doing the things for me. So that is something the really the magic that I wanted to show you guys. One more annotation that I wanted to visit you is that about data annotation. Okay, suppose if you get bored of writing individual annotations with you, okay, and you are thinking ki, I don't want to write at the rate setters, getters, and all those things. So this is something that data annotation with you. Let me open this in decompilers to see it out. So okay, so this is just one of the annotations that is already being taken care. If you write this at the rate data, so it will also generate those getter setters and hash code and all the basic constructors, at least parameterize constructors, not default constructor. We'll add a parameterized constructor and two string method for you. So this is already being something taken care of. Is there is one more annotation that is at the rate builder. So let's explore that also. So this is Lombok builder. This is showing compile time. This will be get sorted out once we'll execute this in. But this is one of the annotation that is builder pattern. So I'm aware that you guys know about builder pattern, that why it is being used, because when you have to create an object, making there are a lot of calls to the the different you while you're creating an object, there are so many parameters that you have to put in while you're initializing it, but that is not 100%. May sometimes maybe initializing the same object with two parameters and maybe some maybe three or maybe four, and this goes to n numbers. So it's not always mandatory. We will providing a different types of parameterized constructors in the class, and this is the way that we are manually checking in which call goes to which parameterized constructors. At a very head of it becomes a lot of quite stressing things. So we come up with a builder pattern where we say that we'll keep our essential parameters in a static class, and whatever the required parameters are there, they will be get overloaded at a runtime where you will be putting up those parameters. So to create a builder pattern, it is very simple. You have to just add in at the rate builder dependency annotation, and which is already taking care of all those things. So Lombok is being working for you. That is something really fantastic. So let's see. So at the rate when I put up a builder pattern, you can see Lombok test builder static class is already being building. So there you can see, which I was telling you, there are some essential parameters that we keep in our static classes, while the rest of the parameters that you want to be very customized one, you have to be there. Okay. Apart from this, what I wanted to show you, I think we have already done all the features. You can go and tell me. So this is something the same thing that has been happening in IntelliJ IDEA also, but I think for this we have to add one custom plugin for Lombok. Okay, so without adding the plugins, you can't get that Lombok feature in front of you. Yeah, so for IntelliJ, you have to do a bit of checking, because there is a settings section in here, which is the plugin section is here. It shows me show all the plugins, but I say okay, I need to browse a repository, and I here search out for a plugin called Lombok. So I think it is showing me Lombok plugin, IntelliJ Lombok plugin, and the same I need to install, and it is showing me all the features that is going to take it care of. We have already discussed about few of addition get a set as two strings. So in IntelliJ you have to install this plugin to get it out, and you have to restart it. But the same way it will be working it out, so don't worry about it. Okay, and it has a different outlook, but the same project structure is there, and the same the D Lombok model classes that you will be seeing it here. Okay, and this is the same D Lombok model classes which you are seeing it here, and it is exploring you all those things in the same way about the builder pattern or about the static, all those things. So it is doing in the same way. So the idea of explaining project Lombok against once for you, it was to know about project Lombok, and it saves your time. And guys, this is the with me. So still you have any queries on videos on anything, just message me here, just send me the request, and I will be answering to your queries very happily. So thanks for watching the video.